We have a shocking trade incoming as the Red Sox have just had their master plan revealed with a new report saying they are heavily interested in Yandi Diaz and could even have a reunion with Christian Vasquez in their future. We'll give you the latest right here on Red Sox Digest. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. We appreciate you tuning in to the show. Want to say a quick thank you to all of our subscribers. We recently hit 4,000 yesterday. I cannot thank you enough to each and every single one of you, and it's not stopping here. We're getting more videos out. We're getting more content out. We're producing some more shorts, so go check those out. And the trade deadline is around the corner, so we have got a lot to talk about, and that starts with today's video, as we have a new article from Chris Cotillo of Mass Live. Very good Red Sox reporter, has a lot of good inside information, and he had this to say on a headline of his latest article. With 2 weeks before the trade deadline, here's what we are hearing on the Red Sox. So, Craig Breslow, thank the Lord for Ceddanne Rafaela and his pitching staff that he has constructed, because they have gotten a 10-game win streak heading into the break, and the Red Sox seem as though they will officially be buyers in this year's MLB trade deadline. And that's where we start with the report, as Chris Cotillo says this, quote, Red Sox Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow should be busy in the next 14 days, and after a 10-game winning streak vaulted Boston into contending status, it's seen as a lock that Breslow will buy, which is a great thing to hear as a Red Sox fan. I was tired of being in this middle ground, it seemed like, for the past couple seasons, and I definitely don't want to go back to being sellers like we were in like 2022 or whatever. So, good thing is, there's a lot of talent out there for the Red Sox to go out and trade for, but what exactly are their needs? What is their wants? What are we hearing from inside the organization? That's where we start with the first point that Chris Cotillo made. The rotation remains the biggest need for the Boston Red Sox. His beginning is Breslow, similarly to how he approached the winter, has preached the importance of adding a, quote, impact starter before July 31st. Anyone who has expectations that a number 2 option is a guarantee should reset their expectations. However, there is a couple of different reports out there. We've talked about Joe Ryan, Sandy Alcantara, whatever how you want to put it. It is a lot to digest when thinking about how many starters are out there the Red Sox could make a bid for. But I personally see the Red Sox going with a more, let's say, rental option, because it has been a very good rotation this year for the past couple weeks. I love Brayan Bello. Lucas Giolito could easily stay next year. People aren't talking about that enough. Garrett Crochet has been all he has been advertised. And Walker Buehler, past couple starts haven't been great, but they've definitely been better. Tanner Houck looked good in his minor league appearances. There's still some kind of back-end rotation spots we're looking for, though, and that's exactly why this is the biggest need. What do rental options look like? Well, Chris Cotillo says this. Luckily for Breslow, there's talent to be found on the rental market. Arizona's Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, Kansas City's Seth Lugo, Baltimore's Charlie Morton, and Pittsburgh's Andrew Heaney would all help the group while not breaking the bank. I've mentioned Andrew Heaney before. We've talked about Charlie Morton in a video, but I want to talk about Zach Gallen and Seth Lugo a little bit, because those two find it very interesting for me. We start with Zach Gallen, a win-loss percentage of .412. His ERA is not good this season. In fact, he has had a very bad year for Zach Gallen standards. But just like Sandy Alcantara, he has the capability to produce Cy Young level stats. Are we seeing it this year? No, but his strikeouts are still very high, 110 to 113 hits allowed. Not allowing the long ball that much, 21's a relatively average-ish number. His innings pitched are there. His whip is still not terrible. I mean, again, this is not somebody that you're going to trade for and think he is obviously going to be our number 2. But when you're looking at the back of the rotation with Walker Buehler, Richard Fitz, Tanner Houck, however that shapes up, I do think that Zach Gallen will be an improvement to one of those guys. Not a knock on Tanner Houck. I haven't seen him since he's come back from the injury. Maybe he feels better. Obviously, a year ago we were talking about how he was an all-star. But I want a little bit more of a guy who could have a higher ceiling than Tanner Houck. And I think Zach Gallen could easily be that guy. Another guy I want to talk about, I mentioned Seth Lugo. I am on the fence about him just particularly because the Royals are now looking like they're going to buy. They got Adam Frazier from the the Pittsburgh Pirates. So maybe they're not willing to sell, so in that case, I look to Merrill Kelly instead. Also a guy on the Arizona Diamondbacks, a rental option, and for sure having a better year than Zach Gallen. 113 strikeouts, 615 win percentage, a 3.34 ERA, and a 1.052 whip is something I can definitely get by, especially when I'm looking at this from a different perspective than probably the Red Sox are. I think they're looking to find a probably clear-cut number 2 in a way. I'm looking at this from a rental option of a guy who is going to be more than serviceable on the back end of the rotation. And Merrill Kelly, well, he fits that bill perfectly. So I could see that, but the pitching is definitely a very, very big target for the Boston Red Sox and kind of seeing what they exactly do. Now, the next part is probably the one that you clicked on this video for. We got this tweet yesterday from the article. If the Rays make first base Yandi Diaz available, this is what the report says, and from the Red Sox, he would be on the high wish list of some Red Sox decision makers. Okay, so Yandi is a guy the Red Sox would really fiend to have. And guess what? Maybe he would be a perfect fit for him. Now, we go first to the report here from Chris Cotillo, quote, but if the Rays do what they always do and trade players getting close to free agency, someone like Yandy Diaz could be available. If he is, sources indicate he'd be high on the wish list of some of the Red Sox decision makers, end quote. So what does Yandi Diaz look like? Well, he's been pretty good over his past career since 2017. His average sitting around the 260s to 300s. Only had a couple of bad years. Talked 2021, 256 average. His rookie year, 263. But besides that, it's been 280 or above. Had a 330 average a couple of years ago. And his WAR has always been a positive. I love Romy Gonzalez. I think Abraham Toro is great, but he is slowly falling down from what his masterful May/June was. A first base option, especially in Yandi Diaz, would propel this team, in my opinion. I think it would make them better. And Yandi Diaz, again, the Rays are right now somewhat in that playoff race. Obviously, sweeping them helped us kind of pop them out a little bit. But the Rays have a tendency to trade people getting close to free agency. And Yandy Diaz is a guy like that. So if they do, maybe the Red Sox can pounce on that, especially with the Rays and the way they handle their farm system. They would be fiending for any of the Red Sox prospects. Now, I don't say we give him like Peyton Tolley or Franklin Arias, but we could definitely, go out there and give them something to open their eyes for. Now, the number 3 in this report, the number 3 thing is the outfield problem really a problem? Now, we obviously know that GMs across the league are looking at this and be like, oh, it's easy. The Red Sox just trade an outfielder, right? They have Jarren Duran, they have Wilyer Abreu. Trade one of them. You don't need them both. I don't think it's that easy. Jarren Duran is the heart and soul of this team. Wilyer Abreu, coming on last year as a rookie, has propelled this team and is leading them in home runs as I stand. He and Duran are very important parts of this team. Yes, I know, there's a very full outfield because you think about Masataka Yoshida, who technically can play in the outfield. We haven't seen it yet. Roman Anthony, Ceddanne Rafaela, those two are going to play every day. But Jarren Duran and Wilyer Abreu, I think are the type of guys that can be in this situation and be okay with it. And I saw a comment, and I don't know who it was, but I'm going to throw this out there. The way that the past 4 years have gone for the Boston Red Sox, I can't trade one of these guys because in my mind, the way that the bad luck has fallen, we're going to trade Wilyer, we're going to trade Duran, whatever, trade one of them. And then as soon as that happens, the other is going to get hurt. And we're going to be now fiending for outfielders, wanting outfielders. So I'm just like, you know what? If we're going to trade them, fine. Do it in the offseason, though. We're going to get value for them. We can make a bidding war happen out there. Do not do it right now. The team is on a roll. Don't mess it up. Jarren Duran is the vibes. Wilyer Abreu is the power. Keep it going. Don't trade any of those guys. You don't have to. And I'm seeing too many people say that it is a must and a necessity rather than I think it's somewhat of a good problem. Now, the number 4 point was just talking about a need for some bullpen arms. But in Cotillo's report, it seems like the Red Sox aren't right now looking for a bullpen option. Instead, they're waiting on guys like Justin Slayton to come back. They're thinking maybe Tanner Houck can be a bullpen piece. If Walker Buehler, maybe he goes to the bullpen like we've seen with him with the Dodgers the past couple of years. He's been a bullpen guy. He closed out the World Series, for goodness sake, last year. I don't think the bullpen is something they're really worried about right now because Jordan Hicks and Jorge Alcala, the 2 trades they have made, have actually been relatively good. I'm not going to say amazing, but Alcala has definitely decreased the ERA, and Jordan Hicks, for the time that he's been out there, has done a solid work. So I skipped to 0.5 instead. And it's another year, another catching move. We obviously know the captain, Carlos Narvaez. Narvi has been incredible this year. A rookie. Thank you, Yankees. I really appreciate you just letting him go, and Craig Breslow scooping up the trade deal. Great. 67 games, though, is a lot for a guy who has not experienced that. And obviously, it's kind of starting to take a toll. Alex Cora is starting to play Connor Wong more. Narvaez has not had a great month now at this point, as you have a 657 OPS, a 235 on average. It's not really the numbers we want to see from Narvi. So, what if they got another backup option? Because I like Connor Wong, but I don't think he belongs on this team anymore. And I also think in some ways, if you get rid of him, you trade him, that puts to bed the Mookie trade. Like, can we let's just stop talking about that? And I don't know, maybe he's gotten cursed because of that trade. Who knows? But either way, it could be a time for the Red Sox to go out and get what Castillo calls an old friend. Quote, one name to watch, old friend Christian Vasquez, who is also not hitting 170 average, 492 OPS, but he has some intangibles the Red Sox like, and the Twins were probably going to trade him in a salary dump. Like, he is going to be traded for free, basically. So maybe you get a deal with Joe Ryan and you can include in Christian Vasquez. That could work. I just think that his defense is better than Connor Wong's. And if I'm going to have a very bad batter as my backup catcher, I'd rather him be a better defensive catcher than Connor Wong. And Vasquez, as we know, can throw the ball crazy. He's definitely decreased over his past years, but I still think that he would be a fun thing for the Red Sox to have. Again, average, not great. Intangibles are there, though, and the Red Sox have history with him, obviously, playing his entire rookie contract out with the Red Sox from 14 to 22. It'd be a fun story. I think this is probably on the likelihood level of about a 3 of 10, but I still wouldn't be shocked if I saw it happen. So I could definitely see that as a potential option for the Red Sox, just to help out Carlos Narvaez, because I cringe every time I see Connor Wong up there. But at the same time, it's a backup catcher. Are we really going to trade? I mean, it's a salary dump. Are we really going to trade for Vasquez when the only thing Connor Wong doesn't have that Vasquez does is an arm, maybe? That's about it, and better blocking abilities. But either way, the pitchers seem to like Connor Wong, and so for that reason, I don't see him getting traded. But it's definitely an interesting thing to look at, just because Castillo, again, very good inside information. He said it. Let me know your thoughts on this little trade deadline video. Is Yandi a guy you'd want? What are we feeling moving forward? Is it pitching we need most? Is it a first base? Do you think Cora and Romy are fine? Let me know down in the comments section. By the way, appreciate all the support on our latest videos. Obviously, getting to 4,000 subscribers is a dream for us, and we're going to keep continuing on. Hopefully, we'll get some game streams going soon. Maybe get some playoff game streams this year. We'll see what we can do, but that's what we got for you today. We appreciate you, Red Sox Nation. Peace out from Beantown, guys.